Good afternoon, everybody. My name's Jane Cohen, and I'm an English teacher in Ness Ziona, in a school called Golda Meir High School. And I teach the 10th, the 11th, and the 12th grade. And I can see that we've got 29 people with us, so that's fantastic, amazing. What I want to ask you, we're going to start off today by talking about the Oral Bagrut exam. I can see Leon there, yeah, in his camera. I want you to raise your hand. Do you know how to raise your hand? If you look in the toolbar, you have something to raise your hand. If you have, or if you speak Hebrew as your first language, can you raise your hand if you speak Hebrew as your first language, as your mother tongue? So about 3 people here, 4, 5. That's it? Only 5 Hebrew speakers? Okay, let's turn those off. And now raise your hand if you speak Arabic as your first language. Raise your hand if you speak Arabic as your first language. We've got 3 Arabic speakers. So according to my maths, that means we've got like 35 plus who speak another language. We're very lucky. Okay, so today what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the Oral Bagrut exam. How many of you have had a chance to do the Oral Bagrut, the COBE simulation, a simulatia? Can you raise your hand? Okay, I've got 1 person here has done the simulation. Okay, anybody else? Only 1 person done the simulation. Do you know how to offer? Do you want to tell them how they can raise their hand? אתה יכול להגיד להם איך להרים את היד? עופר?
כן, למטה במסך של הזום יש לכם סרגל כלים. בסרגל כלים יש חלונית שכתוב עליה participants, מין 2 צלליות של אנשים עם הספרה 48 כרגע לידה, 49 עכשיו. אם תלחצו על הפרטיסיפנטס, ייפתח לכם חלון שבתחתית שלו יש כל מיני סימנים כאלה, yes עם V ירוק, no עם X אדום, וגם היכולת להרים את היד. אז שם אתם יכולים להרים את היד, אז בדיוק, אני רואה שעוד אנשים מתחילים להרים את היד, מעולה.
Okay,
וגם תפתחו את הצ'אט שיש לכם שם.
Okay, so we're going to use the chat as well in shortly. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you very quickly some of the things you need to know for the Oral Bagrut exam, which is taking place in 2 weeks, on the 16th and 17th of March, or in April the 23rd is the last date. So before we start, is there anybody in the classroom with us who is in quarantine right now? Bidud. Is there anybody in quarantine? Raise your hand. Wow, lucky. We're very lucky. We're all able to still move around Israel without worrying about the coronavirus. Fantastic. Okay, so what I recommend is if there are things that you want to keep for yourself, take a screenshot today during the presentation as לקחת צילום מסך whenever you need something or you want to keep it for yourselves. Because this presentation is not available afterwards online. Okay, so let's start. Okay, the first slide. So it says here, we learn to speak by. I want you to, in the chat, see if you can type what you think is the missing word. We learn to speak by. Who can put in the missing word there? We learn to speak. מי יכול להשלים את המשפט? We learn to speak by. Let's see if I can see. I'm missing. See, I can't even. Now I can see the chat. What's the missing word? Can anyone type? Speaking. Fantastic. And we learn speak by speaking more. Avi, hi. Well done. Fantastic. Okay. So right. If you notice, here's the answer. I'll move this chat out of the way a second. If you notice, whenever you have the word by, כל פעם שיש את המילה by. If it's followed by a verb, use ing. So we learn to drive by. Who can put in the chat what would be the word that would come after that? We learn to drive by. Driving. Fantastic. Fantastic. Okay, so that was quite a few of you noticed that. We learn to cook by. How do we learn to cook? We learn to cook by cooking. Fantastic. This is really important in the Oral Bagrut. It'll help you get points if you remember that whenever you want to use the word by, al yadeh, in English, we need to follow it with ing. So in the COBE exam, we're going to get graded. We're going to get our mark by speaking. Okay, so this is how, who knows how the exam is structured? Ofer, that's it, thank you. The exam is divided into 3 parts, okay? So let's have a look. We've got first part, where you're just going to answer questions about you. That's worth 25 points. The second part, you're going to talk about your project, okay? And in the third part, you're going to watch a video and you're going to talk about the video. So hopefully you've all practiced that already at school, and we'll have a go today. Can you type in the chat how long you think the COBE exam is? How long does the computer Oral Bagrut exam take? So a few of you have already had a go at the simulation. Some people said an hour, some 15 minutes, 40 minutes. Let's see who's right. Check yourselves here. Let's see who's right. Way to go. Quite a few of you, Yarden and Shaniv. Okay, well done. 30 minutes. Okay, if you look here at the picture on the side, what's this guy's name? Can you type in his name for me? This is the little avatar who's going to examine you. What's his name? Does anybody know? Somebody said they'd already had a go. Elad, you raised your hand. Do you know what his name is? If you can type in the chat. So his name is Alfie. Okay, and he's going to help us through the exam. There he is. Now, if you want to read some instructions how to do the exam on the day, Ofer is going to send you now in the chat instructions in Hebrew and in Arabic, so you can choose the ones you need. Click on the link and it'll tell you exactly what you need to do on the day as a student in the simulation and in the exam itself. Okay? So some people here doing some creative artwork on my lovely PowerPoint.
ג'יין, בטולבוקס למעלה, בסרגל כלים, יש לך אופציה של more, ובתוך more יש disable participants annotate.
Okay, done. Okay, moving on. I need to clean that now. That person makes me clean the board, right?
Yeah.
That's a bit annoying, but never mind. I can do this. I can do it. I do it every day. Okay, great. Moving on. For some reason, my slide, am I stuck in annotate mode? That's why. Okay. All right. Here's some key words, some words that you need to know when you go into the COBE exam, into the computer lab. You can't take a dictionary, and you can't take your telephone, and you can't take paper, you can't take anything in with you but your brain and your hands and your mouth. So you need to know these words so that you're prepared for the exam. So let's have a look. If you can choose, look at these words. You got here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 words. I'm going to read them to you quickly, and I want you to check yourself, to see how many of these words you know the meaning of in your language. Okay, so prompts, in-depth, detailed, solution, resolution, except for, even though, resources, conflict, classmate, explain, and experience. So if you look at all those words, can you please write in the chat how many of those words you actually could translate into your language right now without looking at Google Translate or at Morphix or at your Milonese, okay? See how many of these words you know. 8, 11, fantastic. All of them. Everything. Fantastic. Who is that? Harel, well done. And Yarden, fantastic. And Moria. Shalev, well done. Everything except 2. Wow, that's really impressive. So this is just a few of the words that you need to know. They're given that you have to know these ones. Let's have a look at a way we can learn them. Okay, so the way we can learn them, I'm going to show you. I'm going to try and show you. Ofer, why can't I go into, make my screen smaller? למה אני לא יכולה להקטין?
להקטין את המסך, לעבור לקוויז, את יכולה פשוט לעשות סטופ שייר ולעשות ניו שייר על הקוויז.
אוקיי, סטופ שייר.
את רוצה שנשלח להם את הקישור לקוויז בצ'אט?
Okay, so here's so Mani Osakshov, share again. Okay, so if you look now, here's a game that I made on Quizlet. Probably many of you know Quizlet. Can you raise your hand if you know Quizlet? You've used this with your teachers at school or you use it on your own? We're going to set, Offer's going to send you the link so you can practice this afterwards. We've got 5 hands, people who know this. If you know all the words in this Quizlet game, then you know the words you need to understand the questions that you're going to be asked. Remember, you're going to hear the questions in the exam. Okay, so let's see how it works. There's many different ways you can do it. The word unexpected, can you type for me in Hebrew? Because sorry to the Arabic speakers, but I don't know Arabic. If you can type in Hebrew, what unexpected means in Hebrew. So lo tzafui, fantastic. Okay, so that was Avichai. Well done. Let's have a look at, let's just check if that's correct. This chat box sitting in the middle of my screen. Okay, let's have a go at another one. Not that one, that's easy. What about this word here? Briefly. See if you can tell me what briefly means in the chat in Hebrew. B'ktsara, wonderful. And one more. So you can, then you can see afterwards by looking here that you've got the translation. The word prompt. Okay, what's the word prompt? There are many different ways of translating this. Let's see how you're going to translate it. Anybody can try what a prompt is? If you're not sure, that's okay. I found it very difficult. Speaker. Simanim or milim shemaskirot. So that, and the prompts we have can help us to answer the question after. Let me show you how to play a game with this so you can know how to play this afterwards. If we want, we can go into, we're going to go back. We're not going to play flashcards. We're going to play match. So for example, if you wanted to play this game to learn the words afterwards, I can just look for words that go together. So different and shoneh, they go together. Details, well, what would I put with details? Who can tell me? Which of these words would go with details? Patim. Great. What about this one? Even though, I think that goes with letter. Oh, it doesn't. So what would it go with? Who can tell me in the chat? What would I put even though with? Well done. Okay, so this is a really good game and you can practice this and then you'll know all the words you need to understand the questions. Okay, so now we're going to go back to the presentation. Okay, I need to, can you see it, Ofer? Ofer, אתה רואה את המצגת עכשיו?
לא, עכשיו רואים את הריבועים של כולם.
לא, זה הקושי כאן, נכון? Let's see if I can get the מצגת back for you. I apologize, guys. This is my first time. Can you see it now or not?
עדיין לא. את לוחצת על השאר...
I know what I missed. עכשיו אתם צריכים לראות זה, נכון?
עכשיו כן.
עכשיו כן.
Okay, מעולה. So, let's go back here. Okay, so we did that. And for those of you who didn't, there's just some of the words from that list we just practiced, okay? The word conflict, sikhsuk comes up quite a lot. Resources, mashabim, you need that to talk about the project, okay? So part 1, part A, personal response to a prompt. What do you get? It's worth 25 points. That's a lot of points, guys, for just one question, okay? You've got 2 questions here, and all you have to do is listen to Alfie. He's going to tell you about the question, and then he's going to, you need to choose which one you're going to answer. You see, we're not going to listen now, but he asked about famous people, Who do you like, and would you and why? And would you like to be famous or hear about summer vacations? So if you had to choose to answer one of these questions, you choose either question 1 or question 2, and you need to make sure you answer everything that Alfie asked you. So what I want you to do now, I'm going to show you 2 examples of 2 sets of questions. Again, you're only going to answer one of the questions you're going to choose in the exam. You'll get questions like this. Domim לשאלות האלה. Let me show you. And I want you to take a moment while I read the questions to you, and then I want you to type in the chat box whether you would choose to answer question 1 or question 2. So, who has had an influence on your life? Explain in what way, and give examples. So you have to tell me who and give examples. What kind of influence would you like to have on other people? So, as a sug ashpa'a, would you like to have on other people? And explain why. That's question set 1. All of that you have to do in one recording. I can see Noah down there looking like she's very happy. Oh, it's Roy. Do you think, question set 2, do you think you're a good friend? And why do you think so? Explain and give examples. Do you think having friends is important? Explain why or why not, and give examples. So what you have to do in your exam is to choose question 1 or question 2. And right now, let's have a look in the chat box and see what you have chosen. Which would you choose, 1 or 2? Let's go, let's type. 2. Sarah's going to answer 2. Avihai is going to answer 2. Most of you like question 2, I see, about being a good friend. I'm sure you really are good friends. You're all going to do 2. Fair enough. I think I would probably choose that as well. Okay, fantastic. Let's move on. If you want to get a really good grade, here's some other examples. If you want, you can take a screenshot of it and practice later on. If you want to get a good mark, a good grade, which you all do in this exam, then I suggest you use some vocabulary that's going to help you. And here's some useful vocabulary, okay? So if you chose to talk about a person who's had an influence on you, you can say, a person who has had a significant influence on my life is, does anybody know what the word significant means? Who can give me another word in English for significant? Important, fantastic. Another word, mashmuti in Hebrew, well done. Chashuv, fantastic. Big, okay, great. Who could fill it? A person who's had a significant influence on my life is, can you type the name of somebody who has had an significant influence, ashpa'a gdola, chashuva, on your life? Type the name of that person now in the chat box. My family. Now, your family is fantastic, but be specific. Mum, because my family is more than one person. Mark. Mark who? You'll tell us, right? My father. Fantastic. Again, only one person, Yarden. All right? So mum or dad. Because it asks you for one person in the question. My best friend. Okay? Fantastic. Let's have a look at another example of a sentence we could use. If we wanted to complete this sentence to use in our answer, is a wonderful role model because, so we could say, for example, my mom is a wonderful role model because she always does the right thing, she works really hard, she takes care of us, whatever you like to say. Or if we chose the question, there was another question there about why it's important to learn English. It gives you a way to start your answer. I believe it's essential to learn English. What's another word for essential? James Bond, because I like him. I love James Bond too, and I heard that they've just now delayed the release of the newest James Bond movie until later in the year because of Corona. Necessary, thank you again, Avihai and Daniel, important, chiyuvi, or chioni, I think it should be, is it? Yeah, chioni. Okay, a great way to learn a language is by what? Watching, listening, writing, and as you see, again, we have this by here. So we notice we have to follow it with a verb in the ing. So a great way to learn language is by watching what? A movie, watching TV shows, fantastic. Listening to what? Movies, Listening to what else? Music, fantastic. Songs. Writing. Writing what? Listening to podcasts too. Lectures, fantastic. I'm sorry to people typing in Arabic. I'm sorry I can't read Arabic. Talking with people. That's one of the most important ways to improve your listening and speaking skills. What about writing? How can we improve our language by writing? By writing what? Letters. Well done. Who was that who said letters? Okay, I missed it. Well done. Okay, so I think I need my eraser again, or I'll have this all over the next slide. Are we ready to move on? Wow, you're a really great class. I feel really lucky to have 83 of you here with me today. Well done. And I've got to get rid of the toolbar, I think. Okay, so now that was part A, okay, where you talked about yourself. That's pretty easy, part A. Part B, you're going to talk about the project. And again, you need to listen to the question. It's called question 3 because in part A, you had 2 questions and you chose to answer one of them, okay? You had a choice there. In part B, you have to answer, there's only one question, it's about the project, and it's got a whole lot of questions in it. And you have to answer all of those questions in one recording. So don't press stop and start, because every time you press stop and start, כל פעם שאתם עוצרים ולוחצים שוב על הקלטה, זה מקליט a new file. So that's not good because you can't do more than one file. Okay, so let's see. And you need to make sure here that you speak for 90 seconds. Okay, that's very important. If you speak for less, you will lose points. So here's an example of questions you might get. What was your topic? What were you hoping to learn from it? What was the most interesting things you learned from your project? Explain and give examples. You remember you have to give answers in detail. So this is an opportunity. Which resources, as a mashabim, were useful for you? Can everybody type what were the resources that were most useful for you in doing your project? Let's see what people say. Got a lot of people typing. Google. Okay, the internet. Are they, first of all, Google is a search engine. It's probably better to say Wikipedia. Or if you can, even give the name of a website that you use, like psychology.com. Okay. If you have a magazine, articles. Okay, so you can even give the name of an article if you want. Give the name of a book they used. Okay. And I would like you now to type what you did your project on. Can you type what it was, whether it was market survey. What else have people did their projects on? Sorry, I was just trying to look. Somebody did their project Shalev. You did it on the Iron Dome. Wow, that would have been amazing. Somebody did it on victory, the Allied victory in World War II. That was Daniel. Yarden, ocean pollution. Somebody did their project on the play All My Sons. Wow, that was Tony. Okay, so we had a lot of different topics there. And you need to explain in detail. This is worth a lot of points here, okay? So the project, make sure you talk for at least a minute and a half. Offer, maybe we can turn off the video of the students. Thank you. Okay, so here again, please speak for a minute and a half about your project. Speak in depth, speak clearly. Okay, we're coming to the end. Things that you can use here, take a screenshot if you want. Of this is useful language for when you're describing your project. Note here that if you speak for less than a minute, you start to lose points, quite a lot of points. Okay, if you speak for less than 40 seconds, you will get 20% taken off your grade. Okay. And you can only send one file. Now let's move on to part C. Here's where you watch a video and you answer in 2 questions about it. Let's watch a video now so that you can see what it's going to be like. You're going to watch a short video and then you're going to have to do some things with it. So let's go. Did I make a mistake there? That's what I wanted. Okay, so I think I have to again stop this. What do I have to do again is stop share, go back into my presentation. So bear with me a second. Okay, share again. Okay. So that was the video. Can you hear me, Ofer?
I can.
All right, you're with me. Fantastic. Okay, I'll put it back into presentation mode. And now, if you're going to get a video, something like this in your exam, in your Oral Bagrut exam, and then you get 2 questions. You can watch the video as many times as you like. You can stop it, pause it, rewind, and then you have to do 2 separate recordings. Here's an example of the question that you would get. Describe the event in the clip. What is the main problem in the clip? So you need to be able to do that. What is the main problem in the clip? We haven't got time to describe all the events, but who could type for me, what's the main problem in the clip? Anybody know what the main problem is in the clip? Okay, so he lost his teeth, fantastic. We've got 2 characters. You need to be able to say who the characters are in the video and what they do, and then what the problem is. That's the usual question, is like what are the main events and what's the problem. And then you have a trickier question, number 5, a separate recording, הקלטה נפרדת. Why do you think the man who catches the fish decides to put his own false teeth into the fish's mouth? Explain. And how would the story change if the second man didn't lose his teeth too? If you get a question like that, think in your own language, in Hebrew or Arabic, how you would answer that, then record your answer. There's no time limit, just make sure you answer everything, okay? You can answer it. If you can do it in 20 seconds, fine. If you need a minute, that's fine, okay? So as we come to the end, here's some language to help you if you had to answer those questions. It's really helpful to the examiners if you use words like then, after that, lastly, that helps. You get marks for using good language, such as a consequence. Here's some words that are helpful for the second question on the video, question 5. And this is how you're going to be graded for your Oral Bagrut. Okay, 50% is how much you talk about the topic and how much detail and how many examples you give. That's a lot of grades. That's a lot of points. 10% is for speaking clearly and fluently. Shetif b'dibur, okay? And barur, that means not too fast, not too slow. 25% for using good language, vocabulary, and 15% for grammar. So if you're worried about your grammar, don't worry, it's only worth 15%, okay? Here are the words we had again that you need to know. And what I want to say to everybody is just thank you for participating today. If you can type in the chat one word about how you feel about your Oral Bagrut exam, which is in 2 weeks. If you feel good or if you feel worried, feel free to type that in the chat. Thank you all for coming. Confident, really good. Somebody says feels dead. Don't worry. It's actually really not as difficult as you think. We did today the simulation and it was fantastic. I was really impressed with the students and we were all really, really worried. So good luck to you all. Have a fantastic weekend. For those celebrating Purim, Hag Sameach, Purim Sameach. Stay healthy. See you later, guys.